So everybody is talking about this story. Jeremy Capel, the TV meteorologist in Rochester, New York, who lost his job after he used a racial slur on air, one he insists was an unintentional slip of the tongue. It happened last Friday. I want you to listen now, and I want you to be the judge for yourself. Watch this.
The way it looked out at Martin Luther King Jr. Park.
So that set off a firestorm on social media. The mayor and the city council of Rochester called for his firing, and after an internal investigation over the weekend, Capel was fired by WHEC. He joins me now from Rochester. Thank you, sir, for joining us. So, all right, so before we get the conversation, you said that this was unintentional.
That's correct.
Explain to me, how so?
The word that many people thought they heard, I don't know if I've ever said that word in my life, and I certainly know not in the last 20 years or so of my professional career. So it just wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Do you know that is a slur that people use against Dr. King, right? I'm sure you have since learned that.
And, I'm sure I've heard it, and I know of it certainly now. I know a lot about it. But at the time when I was mispronouncing his name, Don, it was a mispronunciation, and I could tell that I was fumbling his words a little bit. In the moment I realized that I was fumbling, I immediately put the emphasis on King, not knowing that I had made a major error. Mm-hmm. I did what all of us journalists do. I moved on.
Mm. Is that so? As we've been talking about this story, as I've been hearing people, they say, well, maybe he didn't intend to do it, but maybe it's something that people in the area or whatever call that park because they're trying to be funny or cute or because they're racist. Have you ever heard that called that?
No, never.
Okay. All right. So I wanted to get that out of the way. So that was a baseline, mm-hmm. because I'm on TV every night for 2 hours straight live. It is just me. And I have jumbled words before. I have said things I didn't even realize that I said. I've misspoken on the air. And in the moment, you try not to draw attention to it. And as you say, you move on.
Right.
So what do you say to that?
I was not aware of any major error at all. I knew that there was a bit of a mispronunciation in there, occurred when I combined two words. Obviously a very unfortunate result, but not coming to my consciousness that there was a major problem, or really much of a problem at all. I just moved on. And I've explained in some other interviews, Don, that the meteorologists, some people don't know, they are completely unscripted most of the time, at least most meteorologists in middle-sized markets, which
there's no
Rochester
teleprompter. You're doing it. It's all. It's just you and the green screen, right? And whatever graphics and stuff that you've generated. The question: why did it take?
You got it.
Why did it take so? What did it take you 3 days to explain it, or what? What happened?
Well, let me first explain that not only did I not hear it, but the other 3 people that were in the studio at the time with me, my co-anchors, they also did not hear it. The people in the control room, also no one came forward and said they heard it either. Mm-hmm. So this was at about 5:45 on Friday evening when it occurred. The whole evening went by. Mm-hmm. No one noticed anything from the public.
Yeah.
There was not one phone call that we know of. There was not an email. There was not anything on social.
Okay.
No word. Friday.
Let me play this. I want to play this because I saw this, and let's play it, and then I'll give you my impression of it.
Unfortunately, I spoke a little too fast when I was referencing Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So fast to the point where I jumbled a couple of words. Now, in my mind, I knew I had mispronounced, but there was no malice. There was nothing that I could have. I had no idea the way it came across to many people.
So listen, I thought that your apology was sincere. That's my opinion, and I don't understand why you were fired. Again, we make mistakes, and I believe you if you say that you haven't that wasn't your intention, then it wasn't your intention. We all make mistakes. Al Roker, you know, the legendary meteorologist on NBC and on the Today Show, he says, I think Jeremy Capel made an unfortunate flub and should be given the chance to apologize on NBC, on News 10 NBC. Anyone who has done live TV and screwed up, Google any number of ones I've done, understands. I certainly understand. What do you say to all this? Dr. King and probably someone you look up to. And now me, saying that you shouldn't have been fired.
Thank you so much, Don. First of all, let's start with the late Dr. King's daughter. It is absolutely humbling that she even took the time out of her day to address my issue, to address me, and to be connected with the flesh and blood of Dr. Martin Luther King. It is truly a humbling experience. Let me go on to Al. Al, I always revered him, but you know, to have his endorsement, it's almost beyond words. And I've reached out to him and I've told him profusely just how much it meant to me. And I couldn't ask for any more. And now you, Don, thank you and thank you, thank you.
You're welcome, but you don't have to say that. So listen, I've got to run, as you know. We work in time, right?
Yes.
We only have a limited amount of time. What would you like to say to people in this moment?
I think the most important thing is not what happened to me and my family. It's that this happens to a lot of people, and this has happened to a lot of people. And I think that if I can say anything, it's that we all need to think beyond ourselves and think more of the other person. Instead of rushing to judgment, why the rush? Based on what? A few second clip of somebody bubbling some words on a video you ran across on social media? You're going to pass instant judgment on that person? You know, Martin Luther King said it himself, and he said it the best, that judge a man not by his skin, but by the content of his character. And I would further that. Judge a man not by a little clip you saw on social media, but on the man himself and his life.
Thank you, Jeremy Capel. Good luck to you. Keep us updated, okay?
I will. Thank you, Don.